Hi there. Do you feel like a boy sometimes, but also like a girl sometimes?
No.
Well, you never have to choose again with gender fluidity. Being gender fluid gives you the best of both worlds. Man or woman? Both. Transgender or non-binary? Both. Binary or non-binary? Both. Do you sometimes feel trans, but sometimes feel like an imposter who's totally not trans at all?
No, man.
Are you outside the binary of cisgender man and woman, but have a gender that's kind of wiggly squiggly?
No, man.
Are you both straight and gay for women, but also straight and gay for men? And definitely gay for non-binary people?
That doesn't make sense.
If you feel like a boy but in a girl way, or a girl but in a boy way, you don't ever have to choose again with gender fluidity. Everyone has elements of masculine and feminine, and we are all welcome to accept these qualities of ourselves and others. And if you feel like you're not the same gender every day, you just might be gender fluid.
That's the stupidest f***ing thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
Okay? That is just stupid.
So as outlandish as that fellow we just heard from may sound, what he was saying is popping up in our society every day in places you'd least expect it. For example, at my local gun store, the form you fill out when purchasing a new firearm, they have the category of sex and it says male and female. Well, they've added a non-binary category. And you'd think that'd be an automatic disqualifier when trying to purchase one of those because, well, obviously that person's not playing with a full deck, yet here we are. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very crazy clown world update for you guys today, and as always, we have no time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, and I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, wow, this fella's got a great Halloween costume dressed as Princess Fiona from Shrek. Although I do understand why you would think that, well, you're wrong. This is not a Halloween costume. This is Sherry Lynn. Now, Sherry Lynn is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman. However, Sherry Lynn does not use the term lesbian. Sherry Lynn uses the term transbian. Huh?
Man, you are one twisted f***.
All right, let's keep this party rolling with these two paid establishment shills who I'm sure you are all familiar with by now, Harry and Lloyd.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Sorry, my bad. I apologize. It is Harry and Chris, not Harry and Lloyd. My mistake. Anyway, when I say Harry and Chris are paid establishment shills, I mean that in the most literal sense. They work for a talent agency that is paid by the DNC. So these two young fellas make all kinds of TikTok and Twitter videos, and recently they have dipped their toes into the podcasting world, and here they talk about, what do you know, what they're going to be for Halloween. Roll it.
I was with a group of people this week, and I asked a person of mine, I don't know if some people are calling it a relationship these days. I'm not sure if I'd call it a relationship. Just a person I'm fond of, maybe a woman. I like to keep these things broad on social media. You and I have a rule about this. You know, I like to be open and honest on social media, but not too open and honest. You know, a lot of people we'll talk about later are pretty insane in this world. Got to keep it somewhat private, but let's just say I'm fond of this person. I was in a group. She said, "What do you want to be for Halloween?" I looked at her dead serious. I looked at the 6 other people in this group. I said, "I want to be Joe Biden." They weren't fond of it, Harry. They wouldn't accept. They said, apparently this is a time to be, more promiscuous. I'm not supposed to, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I want to be Joe Biden. I want to get the aviators. I want to get the mask. I want to be such a great American president. Someone as a 21-year-old that I look up to. You know, but they weren't rocking with Joe Biden as Halloween. I mean, are you going to be Joe Biden for? Don't you have aviators?
I do
Put
have
on the
aviators. And listen. Let me throw in the aviators for our YouTube watchers here, because it's all part of the pod, right? I think being Joe Biden for Halloween is great, but I don't think being Donald Trump for Halloween is acceptable, because that guy's a traitor. So here's me with the aviators on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, this is Chris and Harry Unplugged.
Oh man, yeah.
You guys look like. What do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
All right, so these next couple of clips are going to be aimed at all the transphobes out there. Now, I think we can all agree at this point that these people will call anyone a transphobe who doesn't agree with exactly every little thing they say. For example, if you say, go live your life, do your thing, be happy, you're an adult, but maybe just let kids be kids, they'll say, you're a transphobe, you're a transphobe. It's very bizarre, but here we are. Roll it.
If you know somebody that's transphobic, do me a favor and send them this video. Trust me, just send it to them. Why are you transphobic? I just want to be happy!
Are you off your f***ing meds or something?
Yes.
That person seemed unstable at best. Anyway, let's stick with that sentiment for a minute, that there is some big bad boogeyman out there making these people's lives miserable. This person wrote a song about it. Roll the film.
Everyone transitions at some time in their life, whether from child to adult, or maybe girlfriend to wife. We're all taking steps to make our lives feel more true, so kindly if you target trans folks, fuck you. Right up the tush.
Hey, you, mate!
Alright, so this next one is going to get fairly confusing, and try not to get too caught up with all the metal in this person's face. It is slightly distracting. Roll it.
Let's say I, as a trans man, as a transsexual, am dating a woman. That woman is straight or bisexual. Could be bisexual, I don't care. But that woman would be straight because she's dating a man. If I, as a trans man, were to date another man, it would be gay because I'm dating another man. You might be confused by the terminology of transsexual in the context of this art piece. Transsexual is a more old-fashioned term for transgender. That's all it is. Much like gay and queer, transsexual has some weird connotations if you go far back enough in our history. However, some people have decided to reclaim it. I consider myself to be a queer trans man. However, I still like the phrase transsexual, and it has a nice old-fashioned punch to it, which is why I decided to use it in this specific art piece. You mentioned looks in this comment, and I wanted to bring up the fact that looks do not equal gender. I know that's something that you don't agree with, judging off of your bio. You don't have pronouns listed in your bio, so I'm assuming you're a guy, but feel free to correct me in the comments. But yeah, looks don't equal gender. I look like a guy. Don't necessarily sound like a guy, but I look like a guy. And that's because I've taken testosterone to look like a guy. That was a personal decision that I made because I wanted to look a specific way. However, I was still a guy before I took testosterone. I was still a guy regardless of how I looked. So when I was dating a woman previously, she was in a heterosexual relationship because she was dating a guy. Regardless of how I looked at the time, she was dating a guy, so we were in a heterosexual relationship.
In your circle, I'm sure you got all kinds of gays and trans whatevers of all stripes, but not where I come from.
Well, that wasn't confusing at all. Anyway, next up it says femmes with facial hair. Now, this is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman, so do with that information what you will. Roll it.
This is your reminder that femmes with facial hair are so dang cute! I am feeling myself so much right now. I've actually considered going back on testosterone just so I can have more facial hair, but then I think about being on testosterone and I don't like it. I do prefer to have an estrogen dominant body, so maybe I'll try some minoxidil because I have to color in my facial hair to make it even because I have like one side of my face that grows it really well and then the other side of my face doesn't. And I really want like a decent mustache. If you're somebody who likes to express their femininity with their facial hair, rock on. If you're somebody who does not like having facial hair, that is okay. But you are so dang cute! That's it. Femmes with facial hair are super cute. Femmes with facial hair. Femmes with facial hair.
Gross. Freaking idiot.
All right, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for your viewing pleasure, of course. Hey, look at it this way. At least with that muzzle on, she can't bite anybody, right? Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by first sponsor all the way from the Netherlands, our good friend Eric Bosch. Eric, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring today's video. Second sponsor simply goes by Piggy Mafia. Piggy Mafia, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. And last but certainly not least, David Skip would like to wish his grandma a happy 93rd birthday, which happened last Saturday. David, my grandmother just recently celebrated her 93rd birthday as well, so God bless all the grandmas out there. Anyway, Eric Bosch, Piggy Mafia, and David Skip and his 93-year-old grandma, thank you guys so much for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, get this off the screen. Oof.
The hell are you supposed to be?
All right, guys, with everything going on in Philadelphia right now with the rioting, the looting, the theft, we're going to take a look at a throwback clip from everybody's least favorite Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known as AOC. Now, she made this statement on a Zoom call back during the BLM riots, and she's going to tell us exactly why she thinks people are going into Nike stores, Apple stores, Lululemon stores, and stealing stuff. Now, she definitely doesn't think it's just because they want free stuff, they want to come up, as they call it. This is her reason why that is happening. Roll it.
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
You are a fucking moron.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up on this one because I can't take another second of this insanity, and I'm fairly certain you guys can't either. So we will be wrapping it up with everybody's least favorite governor, Gavin Newsom. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about Gavin Newsom running for president in 2024, and he was recently on News Nation with Chris Cuomo to talk about it. And Cuomo flat out asked him, "Are you running?" Gavin Newsom gives his answer, talks about how much respect he has for Joe Biden and what a decent man he is, and listen, I'm not going to say anything about any laptops. I won't talk about any diaries. I'm just not going to do it. Anyway, here's Gavin Newsom's answer to the question. Guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
Why don't you run if you
Because I
care?
believe in this guy. Actually, you know why?
You think Joe Biden is the best the Democrats can do?
And I hope you can differentiate, because your BS meter is one of the best, because you've been around this all your life. I don't like this guy. I have deep respect, reverence for Joe Biden as a person, his character, his decency, and his capacity to do great things. That's why I'm not worthy of that conversation. This guy deserves it. And we, as members of the party, deserve to have his back.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a f***ing idiot.
And you ain't black.